So if you're looking for new construction in South Florida, and I know we hear this a lot, and you're looking for homes that are on bigger pieces of property, this is a community you want to consider. We are in the town of Palm City. We are in the community of Canopy Creek. Welcome to Canopy Creek in Palm City, Florida. So often here in South Florida, I hear people say, listen, the homes in Florida are too close together. Do you have a new construction community that has more land? Well, yes, we do. Here today, we're in the community of Canopy Creek in Palm City, Florida. My name is Ray Fernandez. I'm with Living in Palm Beach, Florida, powered by eXp Realty. Welcome. If this is your first time to our channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Now, I say that every week. We handle relocations. I speak to people literally every day who are relocating to here in South Florida, and there's still a lot of people coming here. And it turns out that most of the time these people when they're looking to come here, are considering new construction homes in South Florida. Here in this community, one of the big attributes is there's more land here. Lots of people I speak with that come from other areas, one of the biggest criticisms about buying homes here in Florida is the homes are too close together. That's what they tell me. Here's a community that you don't have that problem. There's 294 homes here. There are some sites here that are on over an acre. So if land is your thing, this is a community you want to consider. So Palm City is not a city that people are not really well known compared to some other cities in the area. It's in Martin County, and there's a big benefit when it comes to real estate taxes on that. More on that later. It's also north of Palm Beach. It's south of Port St. Lucie. So you have sort of the best of both worlds. So whether you want to move in like literally right away or in 12 months, this is a community that's going to give you lots of flexibility. In general, when you're looking at these spec homes, and that not just here at Canopy Creek, but in general, in any community, you will get usually a better deal. When it comes to the spec homes, you'll get a better price per spec home. But here's the deal. You have to be able to sort of give up the fact that a lot of the features of the home have already been picked out. So if you want to be able to pick your floors and pick your cabinets and all that kind of stuff, the spec home route might not be the way to go. The reason they do this is because the builder has put in for permits, and in order for them to change the permitting, it's sort of a big deal. So what they do is when they spec it out, it's now on their inventory list, and they have a certain cost to carry. So in general, if you're looking for a good deal, speculation or quick delivery homes might just be the right way for you to go. So here at Canopy Creek, there are a total of 6 floor plans. They only have one model though. I guess that's what on the smaller communities, this is like I said, this is only 294 homes. They generally speaking don't have a ton of models, but I will say this model shows very well. The homes in general are big. If you want a large house, like a lot of new construction communities here in South Florida, you'll see like a top end in terms of size, 3,500 square feet. That's not the case here. If you want a house that's 5,000 plus square feet, this is a community you can do that. So Coulter Builders is the builder here. They are one of my favorite builders. There is not a lot of building here in Palm City. If you want a quiet neighborhood, this is going to be for you. I mean, I'm just walking around the streets, driving through here. You can just tell it is not a place where you see a ton of activity. If you go to places like Alton in which another Coulter community in Palm Beach County, there's a lot more activity. So if you're looking for a quiet type neighborhood, big pieces of land, and a high-end community, Canopy Creek is a community that you're going to want to consider. So this community's been around for a little bit. There's 294 homes. There are only 28 left. At the rate they're just selling, I would suspect that this community will be completely sold out by this time next year. If you want to, one of the good things about this community is if you want to build from scratch a model like this is the Dahlia. If that's something you want to do, you can. but they also are starting to spec out the homes. I see this a lot. Here living in Palm Beach, Florida, we have great relationships with the builders. We get a sense as to how they think. And one of the things that we've come to learn is that when a builder comes towards the end of a community, they have a tendency to spec out more of the lots. Just means they want to close out the community and move on to the next one. So Canopy Creek is sort of in that phase right now. So they have 20 spec homes, 8 to be built. And as time goes on, those 8 to be built homes will eventually become spec homes if they don't sell. But one of the good things for you today is that if you want something with a quick delivery, or if you want to be built and you have time, this is a community I would consider. If you are looking to build, you should take into account it'll take about 12 months. That's your typical timeline with most places here in Palm Beach. I have found that here we are with the supply chain issues have lightened up a little bit, and favorable weather conditions this year. The timelines for building is actually has quickened a little bit, but in general, with most communities, your time frame to build is about 12 months. Of all these 6 models, they are all designed as ranches. There are 3 of the models in which you can, as an option, actually build a second floor, but the standard is for it to be ranch. When I say ranch, I mean 1 story. A lot of people who move here are looking for a couple things. They want a ranch, 1 story, and/or if they do want 2 stories, they ask about having the master bedroom or the master suite downstairs. So in any case, we get that request a lot. But here, we have a lot of flexibility here at Canopy Creek. They have 3 of the 6 models that do allow you to build a second floor here on 3 of the models. So here we have the Dahlia. This is a little bit over 4,000 square feet. As you can tell, the kitchen is beautiful. It has, as I come this way, and I'm going to back up a little bit. And yes, I know you might be wishing that I fall over, but I'm not going to try not to. They do have sort of a formal dining room when you walk in. I get a lot of people, they love it or they hate it, but they do have a formal dining room here. You could obviously use this for anything else. In general, in new construction today, more builders are getting away from formal dining rooms. Having said that, I have a lot of people that really do want them. So in any case, in this model, the Dahlia it is possible. Again, this is a little bit over 4,000 square feet. Their smallest model is 3,288 square feet. That's the smallest. And their largest model is the Zoe. It's the Zoe, which is 4,200 square feet. But if you add that second floor, now you're looking at about 5,300 and change square feet. So you can get a pretty large house. Now, as you know, if you follow our channel, you know we do a lot of new construction. We are a new home code broker. We have great relationships with the builders. So one thing I will tell you is I rarely see new construction homes with that kind of space. Rare is it that we see a new construction home with over 4,000 square feet under air. So if you're thinking about moving to this area and you want to get advice on what's involved from people who've actually done it before, myself personally, Ray Fernandez, I moved here about 17 years ago and I haven't looked back. And if you want to ask me and my team questions about what's involved when it comes to relocating to this area, there's a few ways to get a hold of us. Down below is our email address. That's one great way. Also on the screen, you see our phone number. You can either call or text that number. But 2 of the best ways is in the description in the comments section. There's a link. Click on that link. What that'll do is that'll help set up some time for us to speak, either through a phone call or through Zoom, whatever way you feel most comfortable. In any case, we have your back when it comes to relocating here to sunny South Florida. So one of the features I like about this community is there are no back-to-back. So what you see here is what you get. That's like a Florida forest, so to speak. So you don't have home sites that are back-to-back, which is nice. So you get a certain amount of privacy. You can get land, lots of land for over an acre. The smallest lot here is about half an acre. You can get 1.25 acres. So if land is your thing, this is a community I would definitely definitely consider. The other thing that's sort of nice about it too is if you are an equestrian, now you can't put your horse in the backyard, but they do have equestrian trails around here. There are stables nearby, not on property, but literally outside the community, down the road, there are stables. So if you are an equestrian, there are equestrian trails. And I was just speaking to the consultant here at the community, and she says she'll look out the window and when she's selling homes, and then she'll literally see a bunch of horses passing by while she's selling homes here in this beautiful community. So I want to say a little bit about this community. So I want to title this video "Living in Palm City." The reason is because I think this is the premier community within Palm City. If you live here, you're probably going to frequent Stewart. Stewart is sort of like a fishing/beach town. It's literally right down the way. So if you are let me get to the tax. I mentioned this briefly before. When it comes to taxes, your taxes are going to be lower here. So your real estate tax, there's no state tax here in Florida. I think most of you realize that. And one of the ways that Florida collects their taxes is through real estate taxes. Most of the time, when we see us doing videos, they're in Palm Beach. Palm Beach, you should assume about 2% real estate tax. If you go up north of here to Port St. Lucie, you should assume about a 2.3% on the value of the home of real estate tax. Here in Martin County, in between the two, it's only 1.65% when it comes to real estate taxes when you buy a home. There's the added benefit of being able to homestead. That is a huge benefit when it comes to taxes. Reach out to our team if you want to learn more about what homestead does, but you'll see people who live here in Florida, like myself. I've been here 17 years. The assessed value on my property is a lot lower than what the market value is. So we end up paying, if you've been here a while, you end up paying a lot less for real estate taxes. Again, it's a bit of a complicated subject. Reach out to our team. I'll run you through what it looks like. One of the benefits when it comes to moving and living here in Florida. So there's going to be a lot going on here. There's a Citrus Boulevard, which is one of the main streets nearby. If you go north of here, there's a project that's probably a couple years out of going to be about 4,000 homes. AKA, look at what we're seeing down in Palm Beach Gardens called Avenir. It's going to be one of those master plan communities. It is so new that almost no one knows about it. I make it a point to speak with the builders. I make it a point to know what people are thinking, what's available, and what pieces of property are available. So I sort of get the early insight on this. So you're hearing this first. Just north of here is going to be a big master plan community, probably more than one builder that's going to be working on this, but it's going to be about 4,000 homes just north of here, where we are here in Palm City, Florida. We have helped so many people relocate to here in sunny South Florida, and we absolutely love it. So I'd love to know what you think. Do you like the fact there are bigger lots of land? I get that a lot. I speak to people literally every day. I work with families every week coming to look at new construction and other properties. We do existing homes as well. But I'd like to know, leave a comment down below. Is that something that you're interested in? Are you in favor of having a bigger piece of property, or is having a smaller piece of property okay with you? Most of the communities in Florida in general are homeowners association communities. Most of them come at about, let's say, a quarter to a third of an acre. That is literally like most of what Florida is about. I'm curious what you think. Is that something you can see yourself living the life here in Florida? So how close are you to the beach? I get that question all the time. The closest beach, the closest popular beach, believe it or not, it's called Bathtub Beach. If you look at it from a map, it's fairly close. What's nice about living here in Palm City, you're close to Stewart. Well, as I mentioned, that's going to be your main town. It's a nice, small beach, fishing type town. You're close to Jensen Beach, similar type of character, also nearby. And also, if you go a little bit north, you're also next to Port St. Lucie, which has a little bit different of a character compared to Palm City, but it is pretty close. It's one of the major cities that's just north here of Palm City. So I know one of the questions you have is, how much does a house cost here? What is it going to cost me to have this big piece of property? Well, in Realville, again, you go to the website, it'll have a different number. That's because when you look at the website in general, and not just this community, most communities, they're just quoting you the base price of the house. So it's sort of unrealistic to think you can get it is not unrealistic, it's impossible to get the house at that price. It does not include the lot of land, it does not include the upgrades and all that, but realistically speaking, here in Canopy Creek, if you want to live here in Canopy Creek, you're going to be on the low end, you're going to pay about $1.3 million. On the high end, you're going to be about $2 million. So if you walk into the sales office here at Canopy Creek or literally any other new construction community on your own, you're absolutely crazy. I say this in every new construction video, and there's a good reason. If you walk in on your own in the first video, on your first visit, generally speaking, that builder is not going to allow you for independent representation afterwards. We at Living in Palm Beach, Florida, would love to help you. It's a cost to you out of pocket is zero. It's the builder who pays us, and they're happy to do so. You can ask them. They welcome us because they want us, people like us, to introduce people perhaps like you to that beautiful community. The other benefit of working with a company like Living in Palm Beach, Florida, is that there might be existing homes for sale. There's 294 homes. There's only 28 left. There are some homes that are available in the existing market. If you go into their sales office right down there, they're not going to tell you about them. It's because they want to sell you a new home, and that's fine. We don't have any skin in the game in that regard. We want to help you do what's the right thing. If we think that home down the street, which is an existing home, is a better deal, well, we'll show you what the attributes of that home is. So whether you're buying an existing home or whether you're buying a home somewhere else in a whole different community, for us, we just want to do what's right for you. We have your back when it comes to relocating here to Florida. We have your back when buying new construction here in South Florida. So big homes, big lots. I tell people all the time, don't get caught up in the price of the lots. So if you were to price it out, and you're doing a to-be-built home, and you buy the base price of the house, and you buy the lot, you can't just buy the land and walk away and sit. That's not the way it works. But they will price the land out here, the lots, anywhere from about $100,000. It's actually $99,000 to be exact today, and they go up to $550,000, which is why the prices on the websites are not accurate. If you look at their website, they'll show you homes that are in the 900s. But when you realistically put all the options in, your options, you should expect to pay about 20%. That is the average what people spend. You can get away with less. And we help guide you. It's one of the benefits of working with us. We'll help guide you as to what options we think are the most value, because there's a tax element. You will be, if you buy that option, let's say you buy a pool as an example, in your backyard or anything else that's elaborate, and you add to the cost basis of your house, you will be paying taxes on that for the rest of the life of that home. The other important factor when it comes to this community, which I think is important, I get this question a lot. You might have heard of something called a CDD. There are no CDD fees here in Canopy Creek. That's a big benefit. If you go to other communities, they have them. In fact, there's one community in Palm Beach that, if you will reach out to my team if you want to know where it is, where the CDD is $5,000 extra every year. It comes in your taxes. And the way that works is when a community goes in and builds out when a builder goes out and builds a community out, what they do is they build this infrastructure, and it costs money. And in order to finish the project, they pass on part of that cost to you in terms of your tax bill. Here at Canopy Creek, there are no CDD fees. If you want to know which communities have them and which communities don't, we'd love to help give you guidance in that regard. 17 years ago, my family and I relocated to this beautiful part of the world we called sunny South Florida, and we haven't looked back. Today, I truly find it an honor, we here living in Palm Beach, Florida, we find honor to help people, perhaps like you, do the exact same thing. All right, now I'm at the clubhouse here at Canopy Creek. The HOA is modest. The HOA is currently only $382 a month. This is the pool area, the resort pool area. It's a weekday. It's sort of midday, so it's a little bit on the quiet side. This again, for only having 294 homes, it is going to be a little bit quiet. The HOA does not cover your front and backyard. That's something you're going to need to do. And you have bigger pieces of property, so it's going to cost you a little bit more money than a typical Florida home. But the HOA does have, your basics, has your fitness. That's your clubhouse back there. So it has everything that you want when it comes to Florida-style living here at Canopy Creek. One of the questions I'm often asked about is the schools. That's one of the highlights here at Canopy Creek. All the schools that this community is districted for are considered A-rated schools. So living here in Canopy Creek, living here in Palm City, this is unique. This is an area that, generally speaking, when I send people like to look a little bit further north in Palm Beach, I normally am telling them to do so because their budget might be a little bit more, a little bit lower. And so they might need, like Port St. Lucie, you can get a really nice house for less money than you can in Palm Beach. Well, if I send you up here to check this out, it's not to save you money because the homes are, like I said, as I mentioned the pricing earlier, they're over $1 million. But this is a unique area. It's close to Stewart. It's close to Port St. Lucie. The other thing, too, is it's close enough also to Palm Beach still. So you can get to the two of the best beaches in the area, which in my opinion, which is both Jupiter Beach and Juno Beach. You can get there in about 25 minutes here at Canopy Creek, living in Palm City, Florida. So if you want a little bit more of a quiet lifestyle, if you want to do it in a lower cost from a real estate tax perspective, lower cost basis, this is a community I would definitely check out. Canopy Creek, Palm City, paradise here in South Florida.